That's why I say when brothers from Darulum or sisters give sisters, I get a lot of complaint from brothers, foreigners who come here, people who don't belong here, and sisters who come for the first time. They always tell me that other sisters and brothers give them a very stink attitude. And I want to use the word stink because it sounds very stink from the English language. And it misrepresents the akhlaq of a Muslim and a fasting person in Ramadan. Do you know, brothers and sisters, if you go and check Bukhari, volume 3, hadith number 240, Bukhari, hadith number 240. You know why we have to seek the night of power in the odd nights? Because the Prophet ﷺ, one night he went outside to announce to the people. He went outside to announce to them, when is the night of power? Have you ever pondered? And it says in Bukhari, volume 3, 240, and many other hadith, that he saw two people disputing and arguing. And then he told them, because of that argument and dispute, Allah has taken away back the knowledge and the information of what day is Laylatul Qadr, what night. You see how dispute and arguing and quarrels can be detrimental? And that's why I try to tell people who are responsible, executive members, shura members, people working in masjids and all, we always have an attitude. And in other places, I know we have people all over. To argue and to dispute takes away the rahmah from Allah, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from us. Do you know that? Takes away the sakina, the rahmah, the tranquility. That's why some of us live with misery inside of us. You can't smile, you can't be happy. You live in a world of torment and torture inside, even though you are decorated with pearls and gems outside. Because of the attitude, the malice, the envy, the hate. This is Ramadan. Ramadan is to purify and burn out this attitude. Let's not be fasting and crying Tarawih Salah and making dua in Ramadan and praying and starving ourselves and we undermining people, we ill-speaking people, we bad-talking people. That is very much wrong in Islam. Let me tell you something about dua before we conclude. You know, tonight is Khatam Quran, dua. Everybody crying, Allahu Akbar, and crocodile tears, and some good tears, and water tears, and river tears, and all the tears. You know, very sad. And that's why I want to remind myself and you today. Because when people give you all these kind of camouflage, you sometimes wonder what's really going on. And I don't want to Down syndrome the situation. I want us to correct ourselves. That's why I remind myself. That's why last week, Friday, when I was talking and I made a mention about when the sisters were making a lot of noise, I wanted to mention to them how sad this life and situation is. That in Bukhari, 999 people, one person will go to paradise out of 999 in the world. And I wanted them to know, and I wanted you to know how important it is to keep our tongue safe, our amal safe, our actions safe. This month of Ramadan, this last Friday, let's put it together and better our life after. That's why I mentioned that. So that we'll know how important it is to learn, to read, to practice, and don't take the chance. I know one brother met me after and said, well, then we probably have no hopes. How am I so sure I'm the 1 out of 1,000? I said, no, brother. This week a brother met me. He said, so if you said 1 out of 1,000, I said, I didn't say that. The Prophet ﷺ said that, brother. Go check Bukhari. He said, okay, let's hear the logic. How is it possible then? Do I have any hopes? I said, listen, not because the hadith says that 9 out of 999 will go to hell and 1 paradise, it means that everybody will remain in hell. The hadith also tells us, according to other muhaddithin, that we'll have to go to Jahannam, burn out the shortcomings, the wrong things we said, the wrong things we do, and get purified and then go into paradise. But we could go straight without having to go to hell. Why do we want to go to hell first? Huh? Because we were not listening? And I'm telling you something. You see the tongue and our heart, what this heart thinks and how this tongue talks to people and abuse people and move around the people very personally. And because you're from this country and you're not from that country, we don't consider you nationality complex, satanic complex. That eats away our thawab. I was telling you about the hadith on Laylatul Qadr. Because of the dispute. You see what a dispute could do? And then I went on to tell you of the dua. Tonight, dua. You know, it says that a person who consumes haram, The dua is not accepted for 40 days. Let's shelve that a little bit. We ain't talking about that. Let's get in a little high tech here. But it also says, I want to show you how relationship with people is very important in Islam. Go check Bukhari, Muslim, and all these hadith. The Prophet ﷺ says that person who makes dua to cut ties, you know, cut ties? To break relationship with his family, blood ties, that dua is not accepted. Allahu Akbar. See, that's serious. Go check it. Then we come and we making big dua and fasting all month and we praying for everybody to die and everybody else to not be happy and you alone to be wealthy. And we don't talk to this one and we don't talk to that one and we break ties with this one. Come on, brothers. This is Ramadan, brothers and sisters. This is a time to correct this attitude, the way we talk to people and our attitude. That's how we could purify ourselves. Do you know one of the reasons why we give Sadaqatul Fit or Zakatul Fit? Is to purify some of this kind of shortcoming. Some of us may not have to just pay $750 a head. We may have to pay $750 a head to purify our style and our conduct. That's how important it is. This misrepresentation. And all the time, brothers and sisters, in conclusion, this is the Al-Wida Jummah. Let's not let this Jummah go by hungry, starved during Ramadan, work all night, no blessings, cry, but we have all this evil and cutting ties and relationship with people and enmity and malice and hate. In one hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says that when we envy people, when we have hate for people, when we have malice for people, it eats away our thawab and our blessings like how a razor cuts hair. A man might be praying here, spending all night in itikaf, giving all his charity, and then he sits down with two brothers in the middle of the night and start to bad talk me. Well, I sleeping and I getting blessings. How you like that? If he foolish and wants to wake all night and bad talk me, I will sleep and get blessings. Or you will sleep and get blessings. His thawab is shaved off, and the person he abuses and he insults and he bad talk, that person gets his blessings. That's why some of us beat our heads so much and we're not reaching anyway. Allah forgive me. Because the hadith says so. And we wonder why we do these things. And I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time amongst people. As I said, I travel all over the world and I hear it. And I don't mean just here. But I could do it. I could say it here. I can't go as a guest in South Africa and London and lecture and give a lecture like this. I have to do it home in my hometown. Because I tell you, last night and different times I experienced these things. And I thought, if the Prophet ﷺ was so strong on this, and Allah has spoken about this conduct and pattern of the Prophet ﷺ. And if we conclude this last Friday of the month of Ramadan, this Al-Wida Friday, what was the purpose of fasting? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. To attain taqwa and attain piety. It was not all about staying away from food and drink. So we have to be very, very careful. We have to be very, very sensitive how we deal with people. I know we will have a lot of crazy characters coming into masjids and Islamic centers, but we also have to know how to deal with them. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have to be harsh. Parents have to be harsh at times with children. That's why you are the fathers and mothers in correcting them for their Islam, their life. Yes, you have to be harsh at times. But being harsh and being professional and being polite, we got to know where an employer with workers have a different style, parents with children a different style. Well, when guests come to the masjid people who work in masjids, and shuras and executive members, you have to have a different style. You don't talk to people like if they're all your children and abuse people and put them down because they're not from your nationality, they're not from your country, they don't speak your language. And because they come for food, people who are the guests of Allah, we should be happy to feed them and not treat